Hey guys, this is Black117 here, and today I'll be going over my team builder video for Scrabble finals as I am up against Jace and the LA Dottlers. So yeah, likewise, this is going to be an LA versus LA team. So this is going to be a very interesting game, just right off the bat. So in terms of like the matchups, like this was just one battle that I pretty much like prepped my ass off. I did ask for a bunch of people for help, namely Trap, Epic, and Jake. But I think at the end of the day, I think I just like looked at most of their advice and just see like what was like the biggest threat, like like what was like the immediate threats here and there that I have to like obviously have to respect. And since honestly Jace's team is very honestly on paper it is solid. Like you have your Psy Spam core with Lele, Megazam, Zygarde, since it could do whatever the hell it wants with its ambiguous item choice, as I like to call it. You have your Regen core, you have your pivoting core with Incineroar. Well, yeah, Incineroar could just parting shot, which can be really terrible. Armory could just spikes down. Um, Volcarona could set up as well. Kartana, I mean, it's Kartana. It's like it's literally a katana, so it's gonna slice me. And you have Surf Edge right there, so Lich can just go for a banded choice band, knock off. I don't know, his first impression. But I guess there's Nihilego, but I'll just go over each Pokemon on his team and just just to see what like why my main concerns are. So obviously with Skarmory, Stealth Rocks, Spikes are a concern, and right now I'm kind of concerned about the possibility of root like a defensive set with like Roost, Toxic, Spikes, and then, like maybe Whirlwind. I'm not so sure exactly how much Skarmory can do versus my team in general. It is walled by like Deli in particular. Since Mew and Zapdos have to be very careful because if he brings Skarmory, I'm almost certainly think he brings Toxic with it. Since this is like the only Pokemon that can't get synchronized back in return, so yeah. So yeah, I think Skarm can be used since it's also one of his only other defoggers and rockers. So yeah. I guess I'll talk about these two together. I just noticed Aloe and Tangrowth. So Tangrowth and Aloe are just like one of the better regen cores I've seen, especially in FDX. Tangrowth has access to Giga Drain, Earthquake, Leech Seed, I don't know, Curse. Like this thing's annoying. Knock off, of course. There's something like this. This is the stereotypical like Tangrowth set. Maybe you see This Morning Sun. And you have Stun Spore and whatnot. Like I could also see AV or a Rocky Helmet, Leftovers. It depends on what he thinks is the threat to my team. So, and as for Aloe, Mola, I mean, I mean, Wish Protect is so very common. I could see Toxic as well. Last move could be Scald, could be Soak. Ooh, Toxic Myceli. I actually did that once in a one league. It could run like some weird stuff like Whirlpool, Mirror Coat, Confide. But again, like I really have to be careful with like what Aloe has, especially if it's especially defensive. I could try mirror coating stuff. Of course, with Regenerator, these two could just like, and all the recovery options it has, they could just recover off each other. So it's gonna be very imperative to have some form of way to chip them down consistently. So then we have Incineroar. Of course, Parting Shot Intimidate is annoying as hell, but you got to deal with it. I could see Flare Blitz, Toxic, Knockoff, Toxic, Knockoff. One set I'm kind of like low key I don't want to see at all is some weird rest, sleep talk, and like don't know if it has it. Does it have it? Yeah, it has bulk up. Something like this. Like, this could be really annoying for me. Um, because like this set alone could just probably just work my team when my way around the team I have. Though it is hard walled by some of my Pokemon, like, you know, spoilers, T-Tar. So, but then again, like Incineroar, like very likely we're gonna see something like Flare Blitz, Knockoff, Parting Shot, and Toxic. I just don't see anything else on Incineroar. Maybe like Weakness Policy. So Nidokings is his second and only other rocker behind Skarmory. It's also this T-Striker of the team. And I'm kind of annoyed about this Pokemon in terms of team building for it because I feel like I have to prep for this thing. I have to anticipate the T-Spikes. And I just have a feeling that he's going to bring it for that reason alone. And on the other hand, like, there's not really much you can do because this thing is hard walled by like Sally if it doesn't have Thunderbolt, like Escadrille if it doesn't have Foul Play. It really needs Foul Play to deal with me for that. Zapdos, it needs like, you know, Power Gem for Zapdos, obviously Toxic or Sludge Bomb, and T-Tar maybe like is the best counter to Nidolego unless it has like some weird hidden power fire set. So yeah, Nidolego is something I'm not keen on facing. If it because it just means that he'll just have toxic spikes or some form of hazard control. I do have to be careful about like some offensive set, like Life Orb or Choice Specs, or even like just some weird defensive near Lego that could be really annoying since it can actually have it's very Spadef if you ask me, and it doesn't even need like defense, like you just or it doesn't even need to invest in defense. It could just beat Spadef and that's all it has to do. So then we'll talk about the other Ultra Beast that I think won't come very likely. Kartana. Kartana's annoying as hell because Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, Life Orb boosted is almost unguardable, except for like maybe Celesteela. And even then, like I gotta be careful since this thing could just slice my entire team. Like, of course I have Zapdos, Zelly, and Entei, but this thing is just annoying. I'm not so sure exactly what he brings on Kartana, but I think it's very likely Swords Dance. I don't know if he brings like something like Sanitas or even like Defog. Like, this thing does have Defog, but I don't see it going for Defog that often. But the only other Pokemon that I'm kind of concerned about, or that I'm concerned about, is like maybe it's just this really a standard SD set. So, and then you have like Surfetch, which again Choice Band is annoying. It has Choice Band, Close Combat, Knockoff, First Impression. I could see Final Gambit if he's really desperate to get a kill. And Defog again, since it's his, like, I think those like 3 mons have, I guess if you count Volcarona, he has like only like 4 Pokemon that could defog. So yeah, I don't see like Surfetch here. If it's gonna be broad, it's probably like some weird scrappy set with like close combat. So yeah, I've gone over these guys, and now let's go over to the main threats. Let's start off with you, Volcarona. Automatically, this thing, last time I faced it, it had Charty Berry. So, but I'm kind of anticipating Boots in some fashion because Rocks just pour through that thing. And I think for Volcarona, you have to either count, like, this thing is with Volcarona is that I think he's gonna have to bring something like Fiery Dance or Flamethrower if he wants to be more power. So I think Fiery Dance is better just to get the more chances to boost up. Bug Buzz, like Quiver Dance, and even something like Roost or Safeguard. I thought Safeguard last minute might be a good tech on his end, but I was like, nah, I don't think he goes that far since not only doesn't it protect, like, it probably makes sure that like That ensures that like I get a free attack on him. So I think he just wants he definitely I definitely think he's gonna bring something like Roost and Fire Move and Bug Buzz for the T-Tar. So yeah, on Quiver Dance. And the last move is really like I'm not so sure exactly what he brings, but I wouldn't be surprised if he forgoes Quiver Dance if you ask me. Um, I think he needs Bug Buzz for like the T-Tar and the Latias. So but again, I just don't know exactly what he brings, whether it's an offensive set or a defensive set. Um, but I do see like the possibility of Boots or Chardy Berry. So next, I'll talk about Zygarde. Zygarde's annoying. Zygarde's just annoying as hell because like it has so many items you could run: weakness policy, choice ban, life or like leftovers, life orb. If it I don't know. This thing is really annoying. If you ask me, or very likely leftovers. Of course you have 1,000 arrows, extreme speed. So with the Lele, I think he'll probably forgo it. So very likely he'll just go with Crunch just to hit my Mew. Of course he has Dragon Dance, and the last move, I really don't know. Like I could see like Glare again, E speed since gives some good priority. Um, One option I have not seen, but from him, but it is a very possibility. Some weird rest talk set with Zygarde, and I don't know whether it's from this or from the Coil set. And Coil is another set that I'm kind of annoyed about if I face off against it because that almost screams like weakness policy. If I see Coil plus Dragon Dance, that screams weakness policy. Because like I have faced those sets in Gen 7, and those are just annoying to deal with. But again, this Zygarde is like one of those Pokemon that I can guard very well against, or I won't. Like I do have Mew, Zapdos, and even Bulu, but like Zygarde alone can just, if I let it set up too much, then it can just sweep me, just like Volcarona. Next Pokemon I have is Lele, and this thing is really annoying. Thankfully, this doesn't have expanding force. Shoutouts to Isle of Armor, I guess. I mean, expanding force Lele would be annoying, but for now we're dealing with Psychic. Psychic, Thunderbolt, probably Hidden Power Fire, um, and maybe like Calm Mind. Last time he brought in like Nature's Madness for Celesteela, Taunt. I think he did Taunt, so I could see something like this with Thunderbolt just to hit Selly, and maybe like Life Orb or Leftovers. I don't know, like maybe a Stall Breaker and like Lele set. I could either see this being like some weird Stall Breaker, or just having like an offensive set with a choice or life orb. But again, this, if I see Lele, it's very likely like well, it's gonna be some I think it's gonna be a hybrid set, like a hybrid offensive set. I just don't see like choice ban or choice scarf being viable here, since I do have multiple checks to it with drill. I guess you could say T-Tar, since I could switch into psychic moves and Sally. So yeah. Last Pokemon I want to talk about, and probably the main threat that I had to prep for the most, was Megazam. Now, this was before Isle of Armor, so no nasty plot. that's a huge silent relief and expanding force. So those two are all automatically gone. But one set that my friend Jake told me about that really scared the shit out of me was Barrier plus Charge Beam Recover. This set just scared the shit out of me to the point where I just had to like hard counter this as much as possible. Like, because he could just outspeed me as is. And since like I think Sam, let me see its speed here. Yeah, you don't really need that much special attack anyways, but then again, all you have to do is just invest this much and you outspeed most of my team already. Like I'm boosted, so it could be some weird defensive set with Charge Beam, Psychic, Barrier. Another idea I saw was Zap Cannon, just to hit Selly. with Calm Mind or something, and then Focus Blast. So, but here's the kicker with Zam. Zam's gonna need Focus Blast for T-Tar and Drill. He's gonna need some form of electric coverage for the Celesteela that I have in mind, and of course it needs like Shadow Ball for my Mew. And if he doesn't bring any of those options, then I think Sam is kind of screwed. So yeah, so I do think that he's gonna have 4 move slot syndrome with Mega Zam, but I'm not so sure exactly what he brings. Whether he has he has one with Recover, Calm Mind, because that means he's losing some vital coverage, whether it's like Ghost, Electric, Fighting coverage, or so. Like obviously he's gonna bring Psychic for the Psychic terrain. So yeah. Um, One thing is I have to be careful about the ability that he traces, since if he switches into Escadrille, he's gonna outspeed me because of the whole speed mechanics. This was prior to like Gen 7, like this was during Gen 7, and now with Gen 8, like yeah, I don't want to deal with that, Sam. So yeah, that's his team. But let's go over my team. So um, we're bringing Celesteela. And I guess this set's kind of weird, but this set's basically like well, it's mixed bulk. It's Spadef enough to take on like most Mega Zams as is on Lele's. I need a Pokemon to switch into those two, like consistently, as well as Neolego. Heavy Slam is just like, well, it's just there really because it does the most consistent damage. I did play around with or flirt with the idea of running Flash Cannon, but of course Sam with Calm Mind could just wall the shit out of me, and I need a way to hit like Neolego and Volcarona for a good chip. So I just figured I was gonna go with Heavy Slam. Yeah, I know it's like weird running Careful Nature with Flamethrower, but this is my only way to hit hit Tangrowth and Skarmory for good chip. Since Leech Seed plus Flamethrower just ensures that stuff like Tangrowth or like Skarmory, Kartana just don't become a problem. Like you probably noticed, like I have a lot of speed investment, and that's for a few reasons. One, like if I'm able to paralyze, like let's say Tapu Lele with like one of my mons, which I'll reveal in a bit. Like Lele should be slow enough to where Sally can just outspeed it. Same with Volcarona, like that was the benchmark that I wanted to ensure that like Sally can outspeed. Let's say, I think there was like Kartana. Yeah, it was Kartana. I wanted to speed Lele and Kartana to ensure that like once I like Kartana is like paralyzed by like static Zapdos or like T-Wave T-Tar, like I could revenge kill it freely. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Sally. It's a pretty good Pokemon, but like again, like I could see this thing getting worn down pretty quickly if I don't play it right. So next Pokemon I have is Zapdos. Discharge, Hidden Power Ice, Toxic, Roost, Static, Leftovers, Zapdos. I'm taking a massive risk here by running Leftovers, but I figured, you know what, I might as well because well, Leftovers just gives me extra recovery. It gives me like I was playing with the idea of running Boots, Zapdos, and Leftovers, Rocky Helmet, even Shuckleberry. But like at the end of the day, I felt Leftovers was more consistent and allows me to recover like more HP over time than like say like if I were to run Boots. And and here's the thing though, the last game he didn't bring Skarmory and Neolego, and I feel like he's only gonna bring one of those two. So I just feel like Boots will be a dead item for me in this game. And I do have Escadrille to like Rapid Spins, like passes away at least. So, and I really needed like, and of course like I could have run Defog, but I need Toxic just to wear down like let's say Tangrowth, Aloe, Incineroar, Zygarde, etc., etc. Of course, Hidden Power Ice is for the Zygarde, and I gotta be careful about that. Static versus Pressure was like I actually considered Pressure for a while, but I realized static is important because of like, you know, Kartana and Surfetch. And like those two could just, you know, if they make contact with me then and get paralyzed, then Celesteela becomes like a viable revenge killer. Especially like Kartana gets paralyzed and Surfetch is weakened and as well. So the only thing I'll say about like Zapdos is that I do have to watch like with Celesteela, I have to be very careful about losing like viable like too much HP on it. Like I have to ensure that like I don't get chunked out. Let's say like from a banded Zygarde, which I should be able to take at least one of those things, like from 1,000 arrows, comfortably. But I don't know about the second hit, so which is where Mew comes in. So like again, I really wanted to run pressure, but I felt like the opportunity cost of getting like paralysis on Kartana or Surfetch was like huge. So yeah, and also one less Pokemon, the T-Tar has to paralyze. So speaking of T-Tar, I'm bringing the same set I brought last week. The only difference is I think originally I had like Crunch, I don't know, and Rock Blast or Rock Slide, I don't know, but yeah, I think I had, yeah, other than that I had the same set. Assurance is weird because it's essentially like a very like it's kind of inverse pursuit in a way, since you know the way like last time I explained it, like let's say if like Skarmory switches into rocks, Assurance will be able to do 180 damage to it because it took damage. It took chip like during the turn it switched in. So instead of doing like let's say 90 damage, it will do like 180 instead. So that's in fact doubling it. And that's something I really liked about T-Tar, since it just basically could like it also gives me a stronger like dark type stab against like Mega Zam to like abuse, and also to chunk at Kartana, chunk at like a lot of his team, especially his regen core, because his regen core is very likely going to switch around here and there. So if I have rocks and like spikes up, then that's going to be massive, just to be able to chunk them down and just maybe like, you know, oh yeah, I have rock slide and T-Wave, so I could rock slide Paris flinch stuff if I need to. So the one thing I will say is that Zygarde can wall this T-Tar completely, and I don't want Zygarde switching into it into T-Tar like on a free switch, and I have to be very careful about that because that almost screams like setup or like some weird ban set. So that's something I gotta be careful about regarding Zygarde. So, but yeah, T-Tar is like obviously my main check to like Zam, my main check to Lele, also Volcarona most in part. So, and Incineroar. So, Volcarona is really annoying, and I have to keep this guy healthy for like the long term. So yeah, one thing I did note is that like the reason why I'm running T-Wave is because I feel like most of his team, he doesn't have a ground type, like, or well, other not except for like Zygarde, but like he doesn't have an electric type, and I figured, you know, I could just spam it pretty freely. I could have brought like maybe Toxic instead, or even like what other move I considered was like block, just to like, you know, ensure that I can just chip down something. Let's say like a Incineroar or like Lego, but that just wasn't going anywhere. So again, like this T-Tar is just designed to be like my main defensive pivot to his special threats, yeah, in general. So, and if I'm able to like get some assurance chip, that'll be nice. The next Pokemon I have is Escadrille, and like I said, like this is a very interesting set if you ask me, since Escadrille, you might think gets kind of shafted throughout this battle, especially just matchup wise between Skarmory, the Regen Core, Zygarde, like Alomola, Scarf Kartana, and even Zam if it just wants to trace me. But here's the thing, like Escadrille, low key can just outright win the game for me if I can get set up like to +4 SD and maybe a rapid spin boost. And if I have like hazards up as well. So of course this is like I'm saying this is my win con, so I think I had like I don't know, I forgot the Spadef there. I think it was for something. I think it was something to do with Aloe. Maybe like a 2-shot, Skull's a 2-shot, but I doubt it. But I don't know. But Earthquake, SD Earthquake, it just allows me to like plus Rock Slide just allows me to just rip apart his team. And if I have like T-Wave set up on let's say Tangrowth or Katana or even Zam or even Skarmory, like if I can get a T-Wave on Skarmory, then that means I could like Paraflinch it down with Rock Slide. And if he doesn't have Whirlwind, I could keep SDing up and I could potentially beat it. And the best part is, technically speaking, Skarmory can't really run body press because of like since the start date of the draft was like around May. This is sort of like he has to run like the stabs on Skarmory instead of like any Isle of Armor stuff. I mean, let's be honest, any like let's be honest, like expanding, well, not expanding for Slay, but like expanding for Zam would be really ridiculous and nasty plot as well, almost to the point where I would be just like shitting myself in a way. So okay, so that's a strong aside there. So we'll just move on. And last 2 Pokemon I have are Mew and Keldeo. Let's go off with Mew first. This time I'm gonna run Ice Beam for Zygarde since last game I've had like I kind of just effed around versus Zygarde, and that was just not the proper way to deal with it. I didn't respect Zygarde at all, and he could have just swept me right then and there. So this time I have Ice Beam for the possible Zygarde and potential freeze chance. I don't know, man. Like, it's Ice Beam for us. So I have Spikes just to wear down his regen core. And the last move I have, and this one I debated for a long time. Other than Roost, I debated between Boost, Haunt, and Knockoff. And I just felt like Knockoff was just better overall and just removing items. So just figuring out what sets he has and whatnot. So the one thing I will say about this Mew set is that like since I don't have Taunt, I can't beat, let's say like I can't like beat Skarmory or in a 1v1 because it was just like you know, Roost spam and Toxic spam. Same with like Tangrowth, Aloe, they could just Toxic me. So I have to switch to Selly and Escadrille. So effectively. So Escadrille I have to be very careful to switch into Aloe since I don't even know if he's gonna bring Scald on it. Since there's like a chance he may not do so. But yeah, like Mew's set was like pretty difficult to figure out. Like obviously I wanted leftovers, I wanted like just to get the residual recovery, and I had like a good amount of defense just to take hits from Zygarde, like a choice banded hit from Zygarde at least, or +1. And also like I could also take a knockoff from like Surfetch as well, but that's about it. And just knock off in return to remove the choice band or whatever item he has. So yeah, like this is Mew. This is pretty much my third pivot or defensive option here. So last Pokemon I have is Scarf Keldeo, and this set I really debated about this one the most. Like I even considered like dropping Keldeo because like I did not like I actually did not like to bring Keldeo originally, and I considered something like between Entei, Licky, and even Latias. But at the end of the day, I realized Keldeo was like the only other Pokemon that could actually revenge kill Volcarona. And I think the thing with Entei was that like it gets hard walled by Aloe and plus Zygarde completely. it's one thing to do with Alomola, it's a different thing to deal with Zygarde as well. So those two mons are just and on top of like, you know, Lele with Psychic Surge preventing any priority, that's really bad for me. So and then on top of that, like all the other mons had like more mode slot syndrome. But then Keldeo was more like finite or more like finessed in a way, or just more like standardish. But it's a good type of standard if you ask me, since I have enough speed to outpace +1 Volcarona, +1 Zygarde, Mega Alakazam, Scarf Lele. Um, heck, I could like the best part about this Keldeo is that it honestly one thing I didn't not even consider like the last game, but now I'm now considering it now, was Focus Blast. And you might be saying, okay, what the hell are you talking about, Keith? But here's the thing, like Focus Blast kind of just nukes like Tangrowth or plus Aloe and Skarmory, as well as like Zygarde and Incineroar. Kartana gets nuked, by the way. It gets nuked to hell. So if I landed, so. But Focus Blast is mostly there for the Tangrowth. And if I'm able to land that move, and if he's not Spadef in any way or fashion, like, Tangrowth just dies. Like, it will die. Or get severely chipped. So, yeah. To the point where, like, I was just OHKO it the next turn, so. So, yeah, like, I have Hidden Power Ice for the Zygarde. I actually flirted with the idea of running, like, Icy Wind, but Icy Wind wasn't the best option, since it wasn't consistent enough. And I forgot what it was. I think I needed more to do more chip. And then you have like Aqua Jet for the Volcarona or any Scarfers or any fast threats if they become a very huge annoyance for my team. Like say like Zam outspeeds Escadrille, but it barely outspeeds me. So like I need like something to outspeed like Sand, Mega Alakazam and Sand, like Sand Rush. Or like Volcarona that's like +2 boosted, so Aqua Jet is just there as like my insurance for that thing. Again, like I really wanted to consider, like there was a lot of sets I wanted to consider on Keldeo, but this was like probably the one that I just thought was the safest. The only other set I would have brought was maybe like this weird sub CM set. I had this idea, like there's this guy I know that always likes Endure, like Salakberry Endure, and that was that. And I tried looking at that set a bit, and I realized, wait a minute, this set could actually just 6-0 him. The only problem was, like, I would lose out into Scarfer for like Zygarde and like Volk. So yeah, so that's the thing I didn't like about bringing a Keldeo, like CM Keldeo. Like it actually does well if he brings like a very, very, very defensive set or a very defensive team. In fact, I think that set alone just 6-0s him. But again, like I was like, nah, he's not gonna bring that. So he's probably gonna bring more of an offensive team. So yeah, so likewise, that's the team. Let's just say like there's a reason I'm gonna be uploading this video first, and the next part like last. Especially those of you who watched the battle on the server already. Well, anyways, for any of you viewers, I'll be uploading this battle like probably like as soon as I can, like the following day. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to the battle. So I'll see you.